welcome. I'm Lauren, and in today's video we're going to be continuing our Color With Me series from Magical Jungle by Johanna Basford. The pencils I'll be using are Polychromos. So I have Medium Flesh, also known as Coral, in the new set, and it's number 131. Pompeian Red, 191. Indian Red, 192. Caput Mortuum Violet, 263. I also have a Prismacolor White and a Prismacolor Black, and I have the Languau calligraphy pen in white. As I said, we're going to be continuing this page, and it is this Leaves page. So we are using the color palette from Sarah Renee Clark's color catalog or color cube, and it's palette number 448. So it is pistachio, mulberry, terracotta, burnt sienna, turquoise, and teal. We have completed the pistachio and the mulberry, and I've used different techniques. So I've put in water drops, and in the previous videos you can see how I did that. And I also completed this page, this side. Okay, this one, and this one. And again, I put a couple of water drops, and here I've decorated with gel pen. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be doing the Terracotta Leaves, and we're starting with this one. So I'm just going to zoom us in. Right, so now we're zoomed in. I have put a piece of card beneath the page to protect the page underneath, and I have another page to rest my hand on so that none of the oils from my hand get onto the page. First things first, we're going to decide where to put the highlight. So on this leaf, I put the highlight in the middle, but for this one, I think I'm going to put the highlights here on the edges. So here will be darker because this leaf is overlapping this leaf, but here on the sides and over here, it will be lighter. And I haven't yet decided whether or not I'm going to leave this middle section that we've left white a lighter color or make it darker. I think I will decide what to do with that after I've put in the other part of the leaf. Right, so let's get started. We're going to begin with Polychromos, Medium Flesh, or Coral, 131, and I'm just going to put a light layer of this pencil on top of the entire leaf. Okay, so light pressure. To get light pressure, we hold the pencil further down the barrel. So light pressure over the entire leaf. Right. Okay. So this pencil has more of a pinky color to it. So it's actually going to change the color of our base layer. Our base layer is Inktense. But as you can see, with us putting down this pencil, it is actually turning this leaf a more peachy color, which is fine. I like seeing how the pencils make the leaf change over the layering process. Yes, if you've been watching my previous videos, you know that I enjoy layering my pencils, and so I enjoy seeing what comes out once the process is complete. Here at the edge, we are going to flick like this so that we don't tear the paper. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got like 2 layers already on this. That's enough. Okay, right. So now we are going on to our next pencil, which is Pompeian Red, 191. And as I said, we are leaving this part as our highlight. And so we're only going to put this pencil where this leaf overlaps this leaf and then towards the middle. Okay, so let's darker here around the edge. Okay, I'm going to leave this bit untouched for now because I'm not sure if I want it to be darker or lighter. I will decide once I've got the other in. Okay, so as I said, this bit is going to be our highlight. So I'm not going to put pencil down here. Okay, I'm just going to go right up to that edge. And I'm going to put it here next to this vein that we're leaving for now. Okay, and here. Okay, we're leaving it there. So again, we're leaving the highlight. Okay, and here. So just around this vein, leave highlight. And down the other side. So here, this leaf overlaps this leaf, so we're keeping the highlight here. Okay, leaving that. Okay, coloring in these edges. Leaving the highlight. Okay, I also rotate my pencil so as not to get one side of the lead flatter than the other. Okay, that if you do, Polychromos pencils are, as I said before, primarily oil-based, so they get a nice sharp tip, also they don't wear down as much or as quickly as Prismacolors, but they still do wear down, and to avoid them getting worn down too quickly, which means that you would have to sharpen them, you just rotate your pencil. Okay, so next we have Indian Red 192, and we're again going to go around the shadow area here, the cause shadow, around, okay, and yes, into the shadow area here. Right next to this. Now we're going to leave a bit more of a highlight there. Okay, so around this edge here. Okay, and we're going to leave the highlight there. Okay, again here. And around this side. Okay, I think I'm going to make this dark, we'll see. Sometimes I change my mind at the last second. Okay, here we go. Okay. So you'll notice that every once in a while I do this flicking motion with my pencil. That helps with the blending. Okay, if you do that flicking motion in the area where you're going to blend, it helps blend with colors both underneath and the colors that you put on top. Okay, let's do this side. So darker here towards the center, and then lighter towards the right side. Okay. Right, just making sure that I'm on screen. So here again, I'm going to do this motion here, leave the highlight there. In fact, I think I've got too much. Let's get an eraser and just erase that. Now, when you erase, Yes, so you end up, because we're using the layering system, you actually only erase the top layer, okay? So that means I can just go back and leave this as my highlight. Okay, that's one of the benefits of layering the pencils, is that when you need to erase, you can just erase the top layer and you don't have to worry about erasing layers underneath. If you do erase layers underneath, that's also okay. You can just go back in with your pencils and put them back. Okay, bit lighter there. Bit darker around here on the edge. Here, just some flicks, because I want that to be my highlight area. Okay, now this side. Okay, I'm also, as I said, I rotate my pencil. Okay. Here. Okay. Right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the medium flesh or coral, and I'm going to blend everything that I've done together except for the highlight area, okay? Because I don't want this to be any darker, I'm going to skip that bit. So I go over everything, okay, medium pressure on my pencil, okay, and I go over everything and blend, and I make sure not to go into the highlight area. I actually am going to want to make that highlight area a little bit lighter, so for that we will use the white Prismacolor pencil, but for now we're just going to blend the other colors, and because I did those flicking motions, the blending process will be easier. Okay, so I'm just blending the colors that I put down. Of course, because I'm using a lighter color on top of a darker color, the darker colors that we had will become a bit lighter, and we will darken them up with another layer. Okay. Okay, right. So as I said, I want to now go in and I want to make my highlight area a little bit lighter, and for that I am going to use the Prismacolor White. The Prismacolor White is a very opaque pencil, and when you put it on top of other pencils, it makes them lighter, particularly Inktense. Putting white Prismacolor on top of Inktense makes the highlight even lighter. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to, just in the highlight area, okay? We're going to put this in, and we're going to make the highlight area a little lighter. Okay, circular motions. Okay, and again, I rotate my pencil so that it doesn't wear down as quickly. Okay. And as you can see, by putting the white Prismacolor, it's making our highlight stand up. It's making our highlight stand out even more, and it's also helping to blend the Polychromos pencil. Okay. Again, I do that at the edge so as not to tear the paper. And I'm just putting in the highlight. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with all of the colors once more and put in a second layer. So I'm going to start with the medium flesh. And again, I am going to leave the highlight area alone. Okay, so just do the car shadow area first. Okay, and I'm making sure not to go over my highlight. By layering up like this, the color starts to build up. Earlier layers get blended by subsequent layers, and it starts to come to life. Oh, someone is squealing. Yes, that's my dog, if you can hear him in the background. He's obviously not getting the attention that he wants. Oh, what are you barking at? Yes, sorry about that. He has complaints. The service in this hotel is too terrible. Okay, right, back to Pompeian red, very lightly. Just bring it out a little bit more there. Okay, but we're stopping at the highlight. Okay, go. Stopping at the highlight there, just a little bit there on the edge. Okay, right, and once more with Indian red 192. Okay, here I'm really only going to put very little of this because I really want to keep my highlight. So I'm only really going towards the middle. Right. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to deepen up my shadow areas even more. And to do that, I'm going to take the Caput Mortuum Violet, which is the darkest tone of the other tones that we have. Okay, and I'm only going to put it into the shadow areas. So here, the cast shadow area over here, around this leaf. Okay, just a little bit more out, like that. Okay, on the edge there. 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 So only in the deepest shadow areas, which for us is here by the vein of the sleeve. Okay, so really lightly go around, only in the really darkest shadow areas. Okay, now by doing this, it will make this area darker and it will actually make the highlight area pop even more. Okay, rotate the pencil. In the really deepest shadow areas. Yes, I can hear you. I know. You have problems. You're not treated well. He's really not treated well, just so you know. He's going to complain to management about his treatment. Okay. Right, I think just making sure I've hit all the important spots. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to blend that out a little bit. We're going to take our mid-tone, which is the Pompeian red, and we're just going to blend out the edges. So we're not going to go over the entire shadow color, just the edges to blend it smoothly with the other layers. Okay? Right, so we're just blending it in with what we already have. Okay, again, we are not going anywhere near the highlight area. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so now I have this middle vein section, and I think that I want it to be dark. So I already have a layer of my lightest color, and so to make this even darker, I am going to put a very, very light layer of black pencil, but very, very lightly. Again, if you've been watching some of my previous videos, you know that I've talked about black and how it's a color that makes everything look matte and dead. In order to make it come alive, you have to mix it with other colors, and so that's what we're going to do. So we first put down a very light layer of the black, and then we're going to put our other darker color on top so that it comes alive. Okay, so let's start off with the black very, very lightly. Okay. Okay, very light color. Very light layer, not color. It's definitely not a light color. Okay. Very lightly. And as you can see, we're going so lightly that you can still see the tooth of the paper. So if you can't see the tooth of the paper, then you know that you're too dark, okay? And you lighten up your pressure. Okay, so there we have our layer of black, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our other darker midtone, which is the Indian red 192, and we're going to put a layer of this on top of the black. And what that will do, it will mix the Indian red with the black, which will make the black come alive, and it will also create a shadow. Yes, the black will create a shadow underneath this color. Okay, again, medium pressure. Okay, so blending these two colors is going to make the black less dominant. Okay, and it will look better with the colors that we've already got. Okay, medium pressure. Okay, so as you can see, the black is no longer so dominant. And by using a light layer, it makes it easy for us to blend it with the Indian red. Just making sure that I've got the right pencil. Okay, I see here that I should darken up. You can also start to see now any areas that you think need darkening up, which we'll do next. First, let's get this vein in, and then we'll see if there are any areas that need darkening up, need fixing. Okay. All right. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, now we just take a step back and look at the entire effect that we've got going, and we can see if there are any other areas that we want to darken up. I actually think that this vein needs another layer of an even darker color, which would be the Caput Mortuum Violet. So we're going to put another layer on here. Okay. To darken up this vein. Okay, and as you can see, the tooth of the paper has now more or less vanished. And the black has not overshadowed the page, which it would do if we only put black, if we put a heavy layer of black. Okay. And there we go. Let's see. Oh, yes, I like that. Now let's see if there are any other areas that need darkening up. So I think some of these areas around the vein need to be a little darker. So again, I've got my Caput Mortuum Violet 263, and I'm just going in where I see that there are some areas that could be a bit darker. Where the tooth of the paper is still sort of shining through. Okay. Yep, there we go. And I'm just going to blend a little bit out with the medium flesh. Okay, just a tiny bit. Okay, light for this light pressure. All right, I like that. I think that's come out nice. Okay, so now for embellishments on this leaf, we can either do some white dots, or we could make a couple of water droplets. I think I'm going to make some water droplets. Okay, so for this purpose, I'm going to take my black, and I'm just going to choose a random spot and draw an oval or any shape that looks like a water droplet. Okay, a very thin line. Let's also put one over here. Okay, really thin. Okay, now one side of this water droplet needs to be a little bit darker. So as you can see, I've been putting the darker side on the left. So I'm going to continue doing that. So this side is going to be a little thicker. Okay, on each of my water drops. Okay, I don't go in, I go out. Okay, it makes the water drop a little bit bigger by going outside the line rather than inside the line. Okay, and now I want to blend that out. So I take my darkest tone, which is the Caput Mortuum Violet 263, and I go over the black and a little bit into the space. Not too much because I want to keep a highlight. Okay. So over the black into, and then lighten up the pressure. Okay, over the black, a little bit into. I'm going to put my highlight there, so I lighten up my pressure. Okay, now I want to make sure that I've got my highlight, so I'm going to use the Prismacolor White, and only in the highlight area I'm going to add it in. Okay, and I'm going to blend it out with the medium flesh, but not over the whole thing, just where the highlight meets the darker color. Okay, right, and now I'm going to take the Languau calligraphy pen, and I'm going to put in the extra highlight. So in order to make it look round, you need a highlight on both sides. So a flick over here, and a flick over there, and a flick there, and a flick there. You can even put an extra little dot. Okay, and there you go. You have your water drops. Okay, so I am going to zoom out just a bit so we can see the overall effect of the page so far and how this goes in with the other colors we've got. Yeah, I like that. That's looking good. Okay, so I am going to continue coloring the other terracotta leaves off camera, and in our next video, we will move on to the next color. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're interested, you can check out the other videos for the other leaves. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are enjoying the channel, please consider subscribing, and I will see you all soon. Bye.